this is how I basically became a leader of the Black Lives Matter protests in Detroit, and how I basically got in the news and the media and stopped the city from, I guess, being attacked or attempted to be burned or whatever was happening. So make sure you like this video. Let's try to get to 200 likes at least. Make sure you subscribe. I'm dropping multiple videos a day. My name is Trey Little, and I hope you get something out of this video. All right, so look, if you type my name in on Google, you can see there's a lot of articles with my name that shows up, even on like the second, probably third page or whatever. A lot of this started popping up because of a lot of the interviews that I was doing. So I'm going to click on one of them. And a lot of this stuff happened after a particular situation. I'm going to show y'all the video to it. But first, I'm going to take y'all through an interview that I did with Fox 2 News Detroit. And,
I don't think they're ready for this one.
Musician Trey
this interview is going to break some of it down.
Little has been gaining a lot of notoriety, not just because of his music. He has thousands and thousands of followers across the country, but because of what the native Detroiter did 2 weeks ago.
1.2 million, bro. 1.2 million TikTok followers, 40K on YouTube almost 30K on Instagram. Come on, family. You know,
in the midst of the protests. And Trey Little joins us now to talk a little bit about that day. Trey, it's good to see you. Things were getting out of hand. People were throwing things at police officers, and you stepped in literally between the police and some of these people and said, stop. Talk about that moment.
So it all started with a text message. Someone texted me and said, there's a protest going on in Detroit. And instantly I knew I wanted to be involved because I wanted to use my voice to speak out against injustices. And it was like right after the murder of George Floyd. So I wanted to be a part of it. So I went to the protest and it was beautiful. It was over 1,000 people that showed up from all over like our region, it looked like. And it was amazing. Everyone was unified. We let our voices be heard. And it was beautiful. There was some tension, but it died down, and then we moved back to protesting, and it was amazing.
Well, Trey, it went from a...
So there was an organization that started the protest. It was powerful, y'all. There wasn't no tension. Like, it was, like I said, but it wasn't nobody, like, antagonizing or trying to fight the police and stuff. We got our voices heard, and I felt like we were doing what we had to do at the protest.
Amazing to something else. And, you know, people who were not from the city of Detroit started throwing things at police officers, and that's really when you stepped in.
And when I went down there, I was trying to figure out what was going on. I actually was kind of nervous because there was a lot of tension. So I was like, you know what, I'm just about to go back to my car. Like, you know, my wife was texting me saying that there was a lot of extremist groups out there. So I was just going to go home. Like, you know what, I got a family.
Yo, it was rough. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. It was rough. Like, when I went down there, man, like, I was with my homeboy Kylan. And he a big dude, you know, he do security. But I'm like, dog, like, they out here with rifles, machine guns. They saying that the white supremacists out there as well. I ain't have my strap on me because you know what I mean? Like, I only bring it out unless I have to. And, you know, I'm gonna start carrying it more. That's a whole nother conversation. But, yeah, like, I ain't had a strap on me. And I'm like, yo, if I encounter somebody that's, like, on some crazy junk, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm on my way back to my car. And I see, like, firework missiles going off, tear gas, cannons, like that. It was insane, y'all. Like, it was insane. But I was on my way back to my car, and I just felt led. Like, I felt, like, led to step up and do what I did.
So on my way back to my car, I ran into a dispute with the police and some protesters. Tear gas was going off, and the police were so...
I just realized, I don't know why Fam put his knee on my man's neck. Like, that's one thing that, like, I know they're working on policy specifically in Detroit to stop that, but the whole knee on the neck thing, that has to, like, no, that has to stop in my opinion. But
exhausted from literally, like, battling with these teenage kids. And I walked up, and they were just kind of out of breath and all that. So I'm like, okay, once the smoke clears.
See, some of the people who were out was at a whole different time of the protest. And that's where I stepped in. Some of the stuff going on had nothing to do with the protest. These were other people. Some of these footage clips they put in like at separate times. But after the protest, other people were coming from like out of town. Like, yo, where the protest at, man? I'm bored. I ain't got nothing to do. Where the protest at? And they were coming down here. And some of these people, like, this is my first time seeing this image. It looked like these girls got caught in a way. Like, they don't even look like they were really antagonizing the police, but I think they got caught in the way, and I almost got caught in the way. It was some dudes trying to brawl with the police, and I'm standing right there, and the police hopped out with the tear gas and the cannons, and I ducked off to the side. And man, when I say I got out of there quick, because I almost got hit with some like tear gas, all that, like I almost got in the way. And it's hard sometimes because when you got people in a group that's trying to brawl and you got innocent bystanders, they end up getting caught up in it. So that's where the gray area happened, and it was a lot of mess in Detroit because of that.
I walked up and I had a sign that said, "This is my home, you know, don't burn it down, Black Lives Matter." So I had the sign in my hand, like the time.
Hold on. It looked like that officer was about to hit Shorty with the club. I ain't see that. I mean, I'm just saying. My situation was a little different than some of these clips that's popping up. The specific circumstance that I seen, like I said, were teenagers coming from the suburbs into the city trying to brawl with black police officers. And I'm like, y'all are supposed to be fighting for Black Lives Matter. Like, why are y'all antagonizing black officers who live in our neighborhoods, who go to church in these in the churches? And if y'all say y'all stand for Black Lives Matter, why are y'all trying to antagonize the officers who I feel like have protected me and my family and other people around us? I mean, there's some people who had different experiences, but I'm trying to speak for the overall. So I'm like, y'all really can't be fighting for Black Lives Matter if y'all are coming down here spray painting on our buildings and trying to literally bust holes out and stuff. Like, that doesn't benefit us. So I'm like, I can't let this happen. And that's how I got involved.
Timing was just so crazy. Like, I didn't plan this at all. So as soon as I walk up, everything slowed down. And I had a look. I said, hey, who's shooting fireworks? Because they shot one and it almost hit me because I walked up on a corner. So some of the protesters from, like, you know, Royal Oak or Farmington Hills, like, they were blasting these massive, like, fireworks off. So one flew past me and I was like, whoa, who did that? Like, show me where they're from, you know? And I started calling people out like, hey, man, where you from? Where you from? Like, this ain't your city, so go back home. You know what I mean? Like, don't do this.
Well, you're a humble guy. You had a lot to say, and you did a lot in that moment, and you were making sure that the bad guys
hey, he cool as heck, though, man. Him and his wife, they cool as heck. She followed me on the ground.
weren't getting ahead of the police, and you were pretty vocal about it.
And I seen suburban white kids shooting fireworks at the face of black men and women who I felt like looked like my aunties and my cousins and looked like relatives to me. So, and then once it got personal when they almost hit me, and I'm like, y'all are supposed to be here fighting for Black lives.
I'm going to play the video for y'all of me and when I'm explaining, so make sure y'all stick around.
Y'all are going to war with black people who are working class, you know, people in Detroit, you know, so that's how that started.
Working class citizens.
You have thousands and thousands of followers on your social media. People enjoy and like your music so much, not only here in Detroit, but all over the place.
1.2 mil.
And you're using that in a sense to really tell the story of what happened in the city of Detroit.
Yeah, that was one of the big reasons I got involved because I'm almost at 1 million followers on TikTok.
Oh, that was
and
before.
A lot of my videos about the protests, I didn't expect them to go this well. I started losing followers at first, but I gained like a massive following just because I was on the forefront showing interactions between the people. Like, someone handed me food because I was out protesting with my family for, I think 17 days. It was like at least being involved for 17 days. Someone gave me some food and I got a video like, hey, here's a girl giving me food because I haven't eaten today.
And you're helping get that story out there, and we are now.
All right, look, so the news showed a lot of love. I'm about to show y'all the actual video. I'm not going to show the whole thing because I don't want to get a yellow mark, but this video is literally the video that went viral and all over the news and stuff.
Keep it peaceful! You don't want to hurt my auntie right here, man. What are y'all doing? We're good. This is probably, I get, where you from, bro? Where you from? What hood you from? Where? Keep it peaceful. You from the projects. Did you hear what he just said? This
Y'all hear them cannons going off in the background? Boom! Literally, man, my heart was like...
officers from the projects, bro. He's still a black man, and y'all doing this to black men.
Yo, they was out there smiling with their phones out. Like, look, I'm about to hit this officer in the face with a missile. Like, I'm like, come on, man.
Listen. His cousins and nephews still have to go out and deal with the same things I got to, man.
So a lot of these officers put in Detroit. I'm not talking for Minneapolis. I'm not talking for, you know, the other cities. I'm speaking for my own city because I've been a part of my city. I'm connected with people who done marched in the riots in Detroit in '67. Like, we're in a phase of rebuilding. A lot of officers who are officers in Detroit live here, and they put that badge on to make sure that there's accountability within like the policing system in Detroit. And that's important. If we want solutions around the country, we need to make sure minorities are being represented in the system, in the police systems as well. You know what I mean? So I can't, like I said, I can't speak for other cities, but I can speak for my city. We've already went through a huge revitalization where, like, y'all ever seen the movie Detroit where those officers killed those people, brutalized those black people, locked them up, and they killed some of them. And we have a really dark history of police brutality. That's why we're in a stage of rebuilding. And I feel like we've made a lot of progress. And I'm like, yo, let's continue to have prison reform or police reform in Detroit as long as they're open to doing that. Now, if they just start brutalizing us for nothing and we feel like we're oppressed, it might be a few instances, but let's see how leadership handle that. And if they don't handle that, then we're going to step up. But I feel like we're in a situation where it's time to build, and it's time to be heard, and it's time to take advantage of the noise that we made during the protest. So that's what I'm saying, man. Anytime I hear, like, I be hearing gunshots all the time in my neighborhood, and the police come through, they help out, you know what I mean, to where me and my family ain't really got to be worried. So it's so many different layers and stuff that I've learned about Detroit, and I've been challenged a lot as a leader, but I'm willing to keep learning and willing to keep growing. I don't have everything figured out. I'm new to, like, you know, this whole movement. I just know I want to make sure that I can be safe when I travel places and not be brutalized. I mean, I have faced police brutality, but that was in the suburbs, not in the inner city where there's more diversity. Only in places where there's not a lot of diversity, that's when I experienced racism, like, a lot. You know what I mean? Like, a lot. So that's why I said I want to start with my city. And I just want to be an example, you know, with de-escalation, with making sure that, like, you know, if something isn't hostile, it's treated with de-escalation. Now, if somebody out here with weapons and going crazy, then yeah, bring some defense. But if it's just like somebody who's out of their mind on some drugs or something, like, handle them, get them in a mental hospital, get them help. So let me know if y'all want another video about this. I'm not gonna go too long. This is part one. If this one gets at least like 200 likes, I'll do another video about it. Thank y'all for watching. Subscribe. Let's get it.